And we do apologize for a bit of technical issues we had on the back, but it's all solved. So we are happy to start our webinar today. And I'm happy to welcome two brilliant people from one amazing company who are our experts of today. Hi, Matthew. How, Thierry? How are you guys?
We're very good, thank you. And yes, apologies about the technical difficulties that, of course, seamlessly slipped in here. Brilliantly done.
That's very fine, can happen. And my name is Alina Bonadonna. For those who sees me for the first time, which I doubt for actually, I will be your moderator today and happy to assist Matthew with the slide deck today. But before we start, please let us know that you see us well, hear us well, so we can continue. You know where to press, just press the magic reaction button on the left corner. Yeah, I see the first reactions, and make you be ready to receive them a lot after the presentation. So, and as always, thanks to Nemis Technologies for supporting our academy, where I can invite and bring in so brilliant speakers like Matthew today. And if everyone is ready, then we can start, right?
Let's get cracking. Okay. Well, first, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to your time out of your busy day to listen to me for a little while. I'm going to take you on a journey. This is a real journey. This is something that we have in place at Raynor Foods at the moment. And we believe that this is a radical step, certainly as far as sustainability solutions are concerned in manufacturing. We're going to demonstrate this solution in place in our sandwich factory in Chelmsford, in deepest, darkest Essex in England. We're going to show you what we've done. Everything you're going to see here is busy working away, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's lots and lots of people involved with this. Dr. Chris Birchall is the clever guy who's been technical with it. The Raynor family, Tom Hollands and Thierry have been very involved at the sandwich factory in implementing this technology, and the clever people like Dr. Chris, Adrian and Richard Munns have been putting this all together. However, they're not the only part of the team. We've also put this together with Lincoln University and with Cambridge University, who have been just instrumental in getting this across the line. Next slide, please. So, what is S3? S3 is Smart People, Smart Process, Smart Factory. So we have built a smart factory, but we have put people first. It's as the sign says here, it's an integrated suite of digital technologies to decarbonize manufacturers and reduce substantial costs. What we discover here, and I'm sure a lot of you already know watching this, is that if you reduce the CO2 that your company is producing, you inevitably reduce costs. It's a win-win. Next slide, please. Okay, what have we done here? So we have in our factory, and our factory is about 45,000 square feet. We employ about 400 people. We have a turnover of about 40 million pounds. We make 100,000 products a day in a fast-moving FMCG environment. Thierry, just put your muted you, thank you. How have we done this? Well, we've put a real-time location system into the factory so we know where everything and everyone is at any given time. And then what we've done is the clever people, Dr. Chris and others, have built basically a giant plug socket, which we've called Bernard. And everything plugs into Bernard 1. This is our integration layer. And then what we've done here is, and I think it's the magic sauce, we have been able to set KPIs by utilizing the real-time location system, RTLS, by setting up KPIs, and we have set up a self-funded gamification program, which incentivizes, and this is I think the key point, it incentivizes our employees to reduce the carbon footprint of our company. Next slide, please. So, as I said, if you decarbonize a company, you're saving costs. Because of the sub-metering and the monitoring of all power and machinery, we have been able to demonstrate very solidly the costs that we've been saving. We've managed to make carbon dioxide, CO2e, visible. We've made ourselves compliant with upcoming government legislation. And what basically happened is that we have produced an engaged workforce through the gamification system and through the use of these KPIs, so that we can align the needs of the planet with the needs of the company, with the needs of the people who work in that company. Next slide, please. So, very quickly, the green ring in this demonstration, in this slide, the green ring is Bernard, and we have integrated all our existing points of technology into Bernard. One of the fundamental things about this process is that what we've discovered in manufacturing is that very often you have very good but isolated islands of technology just working on one particular thing at a time, giving you good information, but you have to go and look for it. The joy of this system for us is that we have been able to integrate existing time and attendance. We've in our ERP system, we've integrated. We can now send and receive notifications. We've built a health and safety app. We're using several use cases of AI in this at the moment. We're using AI live in our factory every day. And yeah, I'm going to take you on a little journey and show you what happens. Next slide, please. Okay, we're going to show you a little video. The button's in the bottom left-hand corner. I'll shut up for 30 seconds and let you listen to watch the video. So what we've done here, I lied, I wasn't going to shut up. And what we've done here is we've placed sensors on lots of different equipment. In this case, we're demonstrating here sensors on a forklift truck. All our employees, well, 95% of them wear game links around their neck. This helps us to identify where they are. The sensors tell us where the forklift trucks are. They tell us, next slide, please. They tell us where the employees are. They tell us where our forklift trucks are. And through the integration of objects and people through the real-time location system, we're able to kill the power on forklift trucks to stop them when they come close to coming into contact with people. Basically, when it's going to hit somebody, we can kill the power on the forklift truck. How have we done this? Well, we have the sensor on the forklift truck. We have the game link on the individual. And what Bernard and the S3 system does is it goes off, cross-references the employment records, checks that the person who's riding or driving the forklift is qualified to do so, checking that he has the correct licenses, and the forklift won't start unless that check has been made. It will mean that it means that we don't get unauthorized people jumping on forklifts. Of course, we've done a lot more integration than this, because there's an enormous, knowing where people are, there's an enormous health and safety benefit to this. We're capable of pre-populating health and safety incidents, forms, and reducing, the RIDDOR complaints, RIDDOR health and safety incidents. Next slide, please. We're going to watch somebody here who is going to get changed out of their uniform. Again, this, for us as a food company, hit play, Alina, and we'll keep going. I'll keep talking. This is our high care changing room. For those of you in the food manufacturing industry, I'm sure you understand the difference between low risk and high care. And this is one of our colleagues getting changed. There's the game link, getting changed. What we've been able to do here is we've been able to zone our high changing to make sure that people are getting changed and undressed in exactly the right way. Opsa Daisy Maisie. So our colleague's just taken a tumble and just fallen over. The S3 system is capable of knowing when somebody's fallen over. We have trained an AI. We had a fabulous couple of hours where we borrowed some crash mats from a company next door to one of our sites, an athletics studio, and we spent 2 hours falling over in every way you could possibly imagine with a game link around your neck in order to teach an AI what a human looks like when they fall over with a game link around their neck. The system will automatically detect this through being monitored by AI, and will send out alerts. Because we know where people are, we can send out alerts to the nearest qualified first aider to get aid to that person as quickly as possible. In addition, you saw a button being pushed there on the game link, and that button will alert people. So if you have people working alone, lone working, which is always a concern from a health and safety point of view, people wearing the game links will be able to summon attention immediately from the nearest first aider should they be involved in an incident. Next slide, please. In addition to this, as I said earlier on, we've been able to zone our changing facilities to ensure that people are getting changed in the right way. For those of you who might be in the food industry, that means that they go and get their boots on first, then they wash their hands, then they put on their white coats with clean hands, and then they put on the rest of their PPE equipment. We've used this by a process of digital twinning. So we have a digital twin, which I really hope Thierry is preparing in the background, because we'd love to show you a live shot of our factory at some point here. So we've automated tracking of trips, slips, and falls. We're capable of mapping, creating a measle map in key areas where people are falling, and we can send them off to go and we can send people off to go and investigate key areas where we're getting a lot of red dots. Again, we can pre-populate forms, and it provides a very good due diligence defense against RIDDOR claims. And of course, the first aiders get to where they need to go straight away, which is important for the safety of the individuals. Let's have another slide, please, Alina. Okay, so this is our production room. It is fast, it is furious. As I said, we make 100,000 products a day, and we've pulled together here our real-time location system, the ERP connections through Burner, push notifications. We have sensors on trolleys. The gaming app is in here. We've developed an AI camera system to ensure that the right product is going into the right packaging, and that packaging has the right date, which has saved a lot of time and a lot of effort. Hit the button and I'll just talk us through. Press play, Alina, and I'll talk us through a few points here. Gosh, there it is. Well done. So as you can see, we now have screens that are displaying metrics. These metrics, there's 5 production lines, as you can see, sensors on the line. We have sub-metering on every piece of equipment. Trolleys, now this is vital in food production. Trolleys can only have a dwell time of 20 minutes in our production in order to comply with food safety regulations, and the trolleys now are monitored to do this. That's the camera system there that is automatically checking that every piece of product, every product that goes through, every sandwich that goes down the production line has the right date on it, and it's the right sandwich going into the right product. It's the #1 cause of product recalls amongst people in the food industry, and we've managed to catch this several times to stop recalls, which are very damaging to a company and very expensive. Next slide, please, Alina, and I'll keep chatting away. Yes, it was very interesting. I remember walking around about 4 years ago, walking around a Smart Factory Expo, and there were lots of people saying, "Oh, well, we can digitally twin. We can make a digital twin of your factory." The standard reply would have been, "Well, and what do you do with it? What use is it to you?" We've found some fabulous uses for the digital twin. We can now map our processes and get traceability, who was doing what when. We can verify the processes have been gone through correctly. We can geolocate staff and assets. Now, what that means for us is that we can, for instance, you saw the floor sweeper there, the floor cleaner. So we now have a snail trail, a digital snail trail for the floor cleaner. Every time it comes out, we know where it has been, and more importantly, where it hasn't been, which will potentially create a hazard for our employees if a piece of the floor has been missing. If you think you know what friction-free travel is, I suggest you try half a gallon of mayonnaise on a vinyl floor. It will go for ages. But we can also, of course, because of this, have dynamic monitoring of our performance. As I said, the trolleys there that can only remain in our production room for 20 minutes. That production room is a little bit warmer, so we can only allow those for 20 minutes, and those trolleys, because we know where they are, we're able to bring them back in time and maintain the integrity of the cold chain for all our ingredients. We have real-time KPI dashboards displaying in the production room. We've managed to make CO2 visible to our employees. We have reduced our water, we've reduced our material waste, and which we will come to eventually, we've employed gamification in order to incentivize our employees to do this. The information we now have on our processes is amazing. I'll let next slide, please, because I'd I want to talk about the next bit. Okay, so this is a Sentinel camera that we've developed. So this is a camera which watches all our products and verifies that the right date, the right products in the right packaging. We've managed to redeploy 4 people, I believe it is, on our system, on our current shift patterns, and put them to better work, less mind-numbing, less soul-destroying, more interesting work. This system's powered by AI. We found a brilliant AI that can basically learn very quickly. So this system, we teach this system ourselves without having to call out the clever bots. We've now got this system so we can introduce a new product and train the AI on this. The return on our investment here is huge, because we've been able to redeploy people and stop a number of very, very disruptive, damaging and expensive product recalls. And that's just because of this camera system we've built. Next slide, please, Alina. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know where everybody is at any point in our factory. It is the very embodiment of Big Brother. It is most people's very, very worst nightmare. I always say this in presentations. If I want to, I can not only work out how much time you spent on the toilet, I can work out which cubicle you were sitting in. So, what do we do about this potential infringement of people's privacy? Well, we believe we found the magic sauce. We believe that we found a way for our employees and our colleagues to directly benefit from their actions, and for the company to share the savings which have resulted from the imposition and installing of this system. So please, Alina, hit the video and let's get cracking. So here's some of our colleagues sitting in our staff room, and we have designed an app for every single one of our employees that allows them to share in the savings that that their actions have resulted in. In a very English phrase, we hand out points for great things that people do, and those points make prizes. Next slide, please. And we believe that this has been key to the adoption of this system. The gamification is utilizing KPIs which have been agreed between the company and the colleagues. These KPIs, we're currently using 21 of them, and these KPIs vary from just turning up on time, i.e. not being late for your shift, and we will hand you out some points, all the way through to closing fridge doors. If you can imagine, 80% of the energy that Raynor Foods uses is spent keeping our ingredients and our products cold. And of course, so what we've done is we've put sensors on the doors to tell whether the doors are open and closed. And because you're wearing a game link, we know who has opened and closed those doors. And we can reward them for saving the company energy by opening and by keeping the fridge doors closed. We're going to show you at the end of this presentation, I hope, some of the real benefits of adopting this system that we have experienced. The The gamification here is a change management tool. What we've basically done is we've gamified lean manufacturing. We've turned lean manufacturing, which takes a lot of adoption and is full of really good stuff, but it takes a lot of adoption and sometimes gets lost in the mix. What we've done here is we've automated it using Bernard, using the real-time location system, and then we're directly rewarding people for their action through the gamification. What's interesting about this is the game cannot punish. Our game, we cannot take points away. We can only reward you. We can't punish you. You have in your system already disciplinary procedures, which I'm sure are well worn, well known by everybody, and that they are designed to moderate people's behavior when they step out of line. What we do here is we only reward in this gamification. This change management tool will only pat people on the back and say they've done great things. But because of the integration that we've done and with our ERP system, the sub-metering of every piece of equipment in our factory, we've been able to prove that those savings of which the employees are going to take a share of are real. And the company has been more than happy to hand out those rewards. What has happened is we've run workshops with Cambridge University, and we have identified 36 Nodtieri, is it 36? 32, 36 KPIs which can reward our colleagues. We're only currently using 21, and the game has worked very, very successfully. The key point here is that the prizes that people are winning are real and meaningful to them, and they have designed and designated the prizes, and they have also helped us to identify the KPIs that they're capable of and want to be measured on. We've got to a point now where Tom, our technical and innovation director, goes for a walk from the factory, and people come up to him now and say, I've thought of something new you can measure me on, and I think it's going to help reduce the carbon footprint of the company, and I can be rewarded for it. So we've actually got members of staff now coming up to us and saying, I've thought of a new KPI, can you measure me on it? And the key point here is that through the gamification and the integration with our existing business systems and the implementation of new business systems, we have been able to align the needs of the planet with the needs of the company, with the needs of the individual. Each of these KPIs is totally bespoke to your company, our company. They're developed in-house, and they're things that people do every day. Cambridge University has been brilliant in this. Let's move on to the next slide and have a look at. So we played the game where we've developed. Here are a few of the KPIs in green. So you can see here, just for starting work on time, for being in your place on the production line on time, not 5 minutes late so that production starts 5 minutes later, we will sit and reward you for five points just for turning up every day. Yeah, if you come up with a great idea, we will reward you for those. Peer-to-peer endorsements, which was a lovely thing. You can hand out points to your colleagues if you feel they've been really great, if they've helped you. Do you know what? Bobby stayed for an extra half hour to help me get my work finished. Bob, can I give you 50 points? Thank you very much. Successfully completing training courses. We reward people for doing that. How many people are struggling with their training departments and having half-trained members of staff? We now reward people through the gamification for doing that. But there are bigger ones that include the whole company. So the reduction of electricity is something you can do if you're sitting in an office. The average PC is £300 a year. If you leave your PC on, turn it off, and you'll see that happen in real time in your factory. We've reduced electricity per pack. We've reduced, if you reduce waste per pack, we can reward you for that. And then on the right hand side, you can see the red side. These are actually the rewards that have been developed with the help of Cambridge University by our colleagues in our factory. They've played the Spice Girls game. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And people have come back to us with, well, will you pay for us to go out on the razzle for the night? And yes, we will give you £500 to go and eat and drink with your team. Educational support. One of the things that came back to us is that a number of our colleagues are struggling in some areas of their life, and they want help. They want help buying school uniform, and we can now help them to do that. One of the heartwarming things was people said, well, if I don't use my points, can I give them to charity? Yes, we've allowed people to do that. We have 2 dream prize raffles of £16,500 each. 2 of them that have come directly out of the money that Raynor Foods have saved as a result of this system. And we will be announcing next year in July at the Raynor Foods Family Fun Day. Don't miss it. But we'll be announcing 2 winning raffle tickets to win £16,500 for 2 lucky individuals. I hope we still see them on Monday morning, but nobody's going to blame them if we don't. Would you like £1,000 contribution towards your family holiday? You can just log on to this system once a month, engage with it once a month, and you'll get £20 worth of vouchers to go and pay at Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Asda, or a supermarket. Other supermarkets are available. If you just choose the minimum level of engagement with this game, you can earn £20 a month off your shopping. There's £200 for training courses there. And these are not work-related training courses. One guy I know dresses up as a wizard and goes and hangs around in caves, and he claims his points here to go and pay for that. Thierry's smiling, and we both know who it is. Take your family out for dinner. There's £120 there to go and take your family out to dinner and have a nice night. Again, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Yeah, from the employees. Take that up a level. The KPIs are what the business really wants. And the carbon reduction is what the planet really needs. And through the gamification, we've been able to align all these. Next slide, please, Alina. I'll pause for breath. So at Raynor's, we give back 20% of all the money that the gamification has saved back into the prize fund for the gamification. And because of the sub-metering, because we know what every bit of kit in the factory is pulling in terms of power, water, resources, we are safe and sure in the knowledge that those savings are real. We're not giving away company money. We're giving away 20% of companies' savings. Next slide, please. So, 25 minutes in, and we've managed to get to this slide. So I'll just go back over this and I'll point out some of the details that I may have missed. Firstly, this system is people and planet centric. Yeah, this is we start smart people, smart process, smart factory. We have started with the people. Legacy system retention, and an overriding principle of this is that we don't throw away any pieces of technology that are currently working and currently giving you good information. We suck that into Bernard, and then we're able to process it and send it back out to you in usable, understandable information. Scalable. We have customers who are starting with one room and basically working their way through the factory as they introduce this idea to their employees. Yeah, this can be as big as you like. Fully configurable and adaptable. Yeah, we've got some ancient pieces of kit that we've managed, the clever people at S3 have managed to get talking to the system. This is dynamic and real-time performance. This is all about knowing what's going on right now in your factory. We have a dashboard where we can tell not only how many watts a particular bit of kit is pulling, but we can make CO2 visible to both the people who are looking at the dashboards and all the people working away in the factory. The gamification is self-funded, so this doesn't cost the company anything. This is a return, or the ROI on this is huge. What we do manage to do by sending out alerts and push notifications is we can set things up here so that your people in charge of production can manage by exception. One of the things we've done here is cross-referenced who's in the building against the skill sets and their training, which is in the human resources app, and we know what skills we have. We know what skills we have in the factory 15 minutes before we start production. So if we don't have Bob in the factory, and Bob is vital for running a piece of equipment, machine setting or something, our managers are able to allow for that, get a notification and say, you haven't got a machine setter in the building. You need to, and production's going to start in 15 minutes. What are you going to do about it? The technology, the second from last point I'm going to make here is that there's low disruption, discrete installation. Yeah, these are just aerials that sit in the corners of a room. And we have uncovered some very, very discrete sub-metering. Very, very discrete sub-metering. And of course, we are capable of producing a real-time per item carbon footprint. One man's real time is another man's 10 minutes. We've discovered that 10 minutes for us is perfectly perfectly usable, because it does generate a lot of information, but we're capable of producing our real-time carbon footprint for us per sandwich. And remember, we're making 100,000 sandwiches a day. Next slide, please. Now, in a beautiful world, we would be logging on here and showing you our real-time digital twin. Thierry, I don't know if that's possible because Thierry has to log on.
Yeah.
Alina, if you go on, what you got for me, Thierry?
I don't know, maybe we can show at the end, because if I share my screen there,
That'd be great. I think we were practically out of slides there, were we, Alina?
There's one more slide, the headline, yeah, should be.
Okay, so basically, in summary, what we have done here is we have turned our entire factory into a game which our employees play. The point of this game, to win this game, you reduce the carbon footprint of your company. And you, as a colleague, as an employee, are directly rewarded for your actions. You are directly rewarded for closing those fridge doors, turning that machinery off, ensuring that you're there on time, ensuring that you are part of the production process, ensuring that the processes have been run well and correctly, ensuring that, for us, food safety has been observed. And there we are. And that's basically what we've done. If Thierry, is that you, Thierry?
No, it's not.
So what's going on in our factory? Oh, here we go. I'm going to do this last slide. Beautiful. So what's it done for us? In the last year, since we have enacted this system, we have reduced our total energy consumption by 19%. That's an equivalent of 400 tons of CO2e that we have saved from going into the atmosphere. We are simple sandwich makers here in Essex. So to us, that's 1.4 million cheese sandwiches that we've saved, worth 1.4 million cheese sandwiches worth of carbon that hasn't gone into the atmosphere. We are saving on average £50,000 a month due to introducing this system. And although production has increased, so we've gone through a period of growth through the implementation of this system, we have, as it says there, stabilized energy consumption. Now, when everybody turns off and goes home, our baseline energy is 65% of what it is at its height, excuse me. It was 81%. We've seen a 16% increase in labor efficiency, 93% reduction in overproduction. For us as sandwich makers, everybody was over making their favorite sandwich to make sure that they got them for lunch. That's now stopped because we're rewarding people for not doing that. We've had picking times increase, our overall production rates have increased, and 95% game utilization. We always have people who don't want to play the game. There are not many once the game's explained to them and the benefits of them, but they have an 80%. But we have 95% of our people playing the game. We've handed out 1 million points in the gaming app, and at the point of printing, people have claimed £28,000 worth of prizes. I think everybody's saving their points for the big prizes. I think I'm done. Is there another one after this? Finally, there you go. So thank you for sitting in my hairdryer, everybody. Thank you for your attention during this. I hope you found what we've done at our little sandwich company in Essex to be interesting, and I'm more than happy to take any questions on this. Here endeth the lesson.
In theory, and while we are on the way to receive questions, I think we already have some. Yeah. If you don't mind, I will start with this one because it was the first one. It went faster than me. Yeah. What has been the investment in setting up the S3 system, and what was the payback time?
Okay, so for us, it's a little different because for us, we have had it's cost us £2.5 million to develop this system. I have
Mm-hmm.
to hold up my hand here and wave the flag for Innovate UK, the government body who've paid a big proportion of these costs, and to help us develop this, on condition that we take this out into the world and tell people what they've done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have set this up so that we have some very, very inexpensive trials, so that we can test the system in people's factories, because we don't expect anybody to spend £2.5 million implementing this. We've done it so that you don't have to. Trials here begin at £5,000 to go and put up some sensors and prove that the technology will work in your factory. Um, a single room with the integration into your integration into your existing systems, and Bernard, for a single room would cost somewhere around £35,000. But of course, the more rooms and the more places you find to use this, the more and more the returns come in from your investment. Have I answered that question?
Yes, I guess so. But you know what? The next question I would ask you
Go on.
is definitely that was the success story, right?
Hmm.
But what led you to make this change? Like, what
Okay.
was the case?
I've been making sandwiches for 37 years.
Yeah.
Okay. 37 years of putting things between two slices of bread. Um, I get bored. You may have detected maybe a little energy, nervous energy, and perhaps a little neurodiversity bouncing around here explaining this. I get bored, and I constantly look for the next thing to do. In 15, 20 years ago, Raynor Foods developed their own breed of lettuce. We developed a unique breed of tomato. Um, Now we have built these kinds of systems. The planet is burning. We are on an ever decreasing iceberg, and we are we at Raynors are always looking for ways to reduce the impact on the planet of our company. Staring into the fire. I'm a huge gamer, and Tom Hollands, who's our technical and innovation director, were sitting one night looking into the fire, and I mean, like 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we were swilling a glass or something, I don't know. But we just finished a game of Dungeons and Dragons, and it was, how can we help people here to adopt this technology so that we can save the planet? And if you ask me, Tom came up with the idea of turning it into a game. If you ask Tom, he'll say it was me. I'm pretty sure it was Tom that came up with this idea. But yes, 1 o'clock in the morning, having been rolling dice in anger all night, staring into the fire, relaxing, we thought, can we turn the whole factory into a game? And can we save the planet while we do it? And the answer was £2.5 million later, yes.
And they are true saving for the business, because at the end of the day, Raynor is a functioning business, and every business is looking for cost saving, and the energy saving, £50,000 on bills is not negligible, and that's just one portion of the saving. And the waste, we've saved so much. There's been a huge impact on across the factory and the supply chain, or the process in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you
did that
so
answer
much.
your question? How did we think it up? Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, that's very cool actually. And did you feel any kind of impact you made on customers with this change?
Yes,
For
Yes.
absolutely.
example.
So, well, Thierry, I was going to use the example of being able to provide scope 1 and 2, um, scope 1 and 2 for our customers, and they're real. They're not made up. They're real. We know they're real. We haven't got somebody sitting in a big chair, uh, nice and quietly, sitting working things out with a calculator. We simply open up our dashboard and we can know how much carbon we've saved. This makes things like tendering for business real. This makes things so easy for saying, well, actually, yes, we do have a carbon reduction policy,
Mhm,
and it's called the S3 system.
mhm, mhm.
And here we can prove what reductions we've made. 1.4 million cheese sandwiches in a year. The reductions that we've made, and we can prove it. We can do it in real time, and it's real. So yes, the level of information we've been able to pass on to our customers is huge.
And
Um,
there's also a big impact on what we've realized talking to people is we made business realize how little they were putting their people at the front of their business, and no systems, no company systems will operate without people, and hence why smart people, smart process, smart factory is all linked. If you put your people at the front and you engage
Mhm.
with your people, they will actually improve and work with your systems and make best use of everything you invested for many years. And so many people have been lost on investing in system where people were not touching them because they were not engaged.
Would
exactly.
you consider it then to be like a super innovative food safety culture implemented from the ground?
You said that very well, Alina. Yes, because you cannot impose this, and Cambridge University have been brilliant at running workshops with our colleagues and introducing the idea, because as I said, this is a big idea. You're being monitored. Effectively, you could think you were being monitored all the time, um, and of course you are, but in a way in which you're directly rewarded for doing the thing. The health and safety implications on this are just enormous. They're absolutely huge. We know the system knows you've fallen over before you've hit the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you have a button on. In fact, I'm going to find mine now. You have a button. You have a button on your game link that you can push, and there it is. You see it flashing. You have a button on the game link that you can push, and you can alert people to your whereabouts straight away. The health and safety implications of this are worth doing alone. The fact that we think we can save the planet and save money and energy while we do it is a win-win-win. It's a win for the planet, it's a win for the company, and it's a win for the individuals who are working in that company.
Great.
Everybody wins.
Perfect. I have one more question. I think we still have a few minutes. If I wanted to run a factory trial, do I approach Innovate UK?
No, no. Come and talk to us directly at Align. Align is the company that we have developed to exploit this technology, to take this to the world. If you want to have a trial, um, Thierry is your man to get hold of, and we can, get hold of us directly. You can get hold of us through Raynor Foods. You can get hold of us directly through the Align website. That's ALYN. Through the Align website. Uh, Sorry, Thierry, what did I miss?
Align.uk is the website, yes.
align.uk. Contact us directly through there. And like I said, we have some very inexpensive ways to trial this technology in businesses, because you know, we could just sit back and enjoy this ourselves, but that's not going to save the planet. The only way the planet gets saved is if more people than this sandwich company in Essex adopt the technology.
Great. And maybe if I may ask you, Matthew and Thierry, maybe you can do it together or one by one as you wish. Key 3 takeaways, which are the most important for people to take out from today's session.
Gosh,
What that would be.
I want time to think. I want time to think. Thierry, have you got any?
Based on your experience, of course.
Right. Firstly, we thought this would never work because we sat there and thought that our employees would be so hostile to this level of monitoring. Actually, you don't know what people will do if they're properly and honestly rewarded. And the adoption of this technology was much easier than we first thought. That's my first one. So if you're thinking about this, don't worry about, you know, upsetting Derek, who runs the, you know, runs the flow wrapper. We've developed techniques with Cambridge University to introduce this to your company without everybody walking out the door. Thierry, have you got a takeaway?
The takeaways, again, you know, for me, the number one is everything starts with people, as I mentioned earlier, and you would, you know, that's your starting point, and you engage your people. You know, as the title, I will just repeat the title, because start with your people, you save money for your business, and then the your business move forward, and the system grows with you. You know, we started small, and we are growing and growing, and the systems evolve with you. So for me, that's the 3 things that it's a system that is designed, a solution that is designed to evolve with a business. You can start small with a small budget and grow with it, and take your people on a journey.
Take people on a journey. That's a nice way to finish. You
Yeah,
can take
actually,
the people on this journey too.
thank you so much, both Matthew and Thierry. It was really a very valuable and important presentation. I think you have to really talk more about this project, to scale it, and to really showcase how the real example of food safety culture should be implemented. And I do believe that people loved our presentation today. I don't see hearts, claps, where they are, where they are coming. Maybe people were so excited that just got frozen from the excitement.
Thank you, David.
Yeah,
Thank you, David.
there are. I mean, yeah, and basically that was our last webinar session for 2025. So congratulations to everyone who are on holidays already or are going to be on holidays soon. And see you already in 2026 on January for our next webinar related to Listeria monitoring in dairy. And I wish you all guys to have amazing Christmas holidays, great end of the working day, and see you very soon at Next Academy. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.